Hi guys, it's Nathan from Headbangers here. Today we've got Brennan from Lumnos. This one we talk about a lot about space, and a lot about just passion as well as Brennan's sort of passion for learning new things and also learning new cultures and just wanting to explore and go to new places, which is something that we thought was really interesting. This one was really fun for us. We advise check out Lumnos. They're an amazing black metal band. It's all one man project, so it's mental that this music has come from one person. But genuinely, it's probably the most unique black metal you ever listen to. If you like the podcast and you want to support us, we've got a Patreon. Don't forget to as well follow us on all social media. Everything is Headbangers Podcast except for Twitter, which is Headbangers Pod One. And again, if you want to leave us a like and subscribe for the YouTube listeners, and for the audio listeners, if you want to leave us a rating, that also helps us out as well. But without any further ado, here's the episode. Welcome back to the Headbangers Podcast, where your hosts Nathan and Brad. Here today we're joined by Brennan, the mastermind behind Lumnos. How are you doing, man? Start off with.
Uh, it's a pleasure to be here with you guys. I hope we can discuss a lot of topics today, and I'm open to talk about everything.
Awesome. Yeah, let's get right to it then. So I want to start off by asking, obviously you have such a unique soundscape, and it's one thing that's always drawn me to your music. I've loved everything that you've put out, especially the Endless Theory. I've had it on repeat since it came out. Let's start off with um, what made you want to mix black metal with space ambience? Because it's quite a unique sound, to be fair. Like, there's not many bands that sound like you. So how did that all come about, basically?
Well, it was on 2015 that I started this project, and I was basically listening a lot of black metal related music like Dark Throne or even Burzum. And I once listened to a band called Lustri. I think you guys might know them. It's
Mhm.
from Sweden, and it was like a great inspiration to me because I was trying a lot of different things. I was only 17 at the time, and the first time that I really listened to Lustri, it was very inspiring to me, and I was very young and trying a lot of different things, but this one really catch me, and I was comfortable working with that. And the mix with this with space to me is because space itself has is like a mystery. We
Mhm.
don't know everything about it, and there are many topics that we just uh, have theories about it. So to me, what really inspires me in terms of space is the mystery that we have, and I feel very like free to write about um, uh, create around it because, as I said, it's a very open topic, and I'm kind of changing the topic of my music today, but what first made me take the decision to record around space was its mystery and the and especially Luster was a great inspiration in terms of music.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I guess you're completely right there. I mean, the space it is literally endless, and there's like tons of things that you can talk about, whether it's going to be like concrete facts that we know or theories. So you mentioned that you want to change your concepts. I know that you're doing a split release soon as well. Is that the kind of thing you're going down where you're going to start changing the topics and the concepts?
Yes, this change of topics is very important to me because what I'm trying to do is get down to earth, so to say. So this split will be more personal and not so space related. But the idea is that I will work with Bogdan. He's a Russian musician from Sky Forest, and we recorded together Ancient Shadows of Saturn. And in this split, I will basically get down to earth and write more about like the place that I'm from. I'm from Brazil, so I'm trying to add like new texture to my music, new samples, new instruments, and with a little bit more down to earth atmosphere, but also, of course, with that heavy texture of black metal, of course, with a lot of synths, and this is what I'm preparing for the split. To be honest, is like a new step in luminous sound and a history that has a little bit of me and not that anxious and not that so experimental that I was having before. So that's what you guys can expect in the next release.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited to hear it. With like the sort of concept of space, was that like an obsession that you had before the band, or was it something that sort of you was working on music and it was something that gave you inspiration and it was like something to lean more into?
Can you repeat the question? It had a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah. So with the concepts of space and everything like that, you touch on the previous work. Was that something that you've always had like an interest in before even doing music, or was it something that whilst you was like going through writing music and everything like that for the first time, that gave you a lot more inspiration and it made you go, okay, I'm going to lean more into this and sort of sparked the passion for it?
Yeah, my passion for space related themes is previous prior to my music. When I was even younger, was I remember that I was listening to Actors. That is a band from Norway, I believe, and they also had this space team like band. But at the time, I was not paying enough attention. But I remember that this whole they have like a vibe that is like space pirates or something. So that was something that really got my attention. And prior to my music, I always like to wander the nature, the night sky, this kind of topic. And I feel like that was something that always wanted to do, but I never really uh, gave it a chance to record around it. And when I released Lumnos, it was me trying to scream something, trying to put almost a desperate vibe, almost a desperate way to scream and to say maybe we are not alone in this universe. So that was the goal at the first time.
Yeah, honestly, like it's a really immersive experience listening to your music. Like you just get completely lost in it. It's like mesmerizing. It's some, but yet so like melodic as well. I'm interested, like in the new concepts you're saying want to be like more down to something that's more personal to you. Um, will the soundscape change then? Do you reckon? Like, will it be something completely different? And is it going to be about like your culture in Brazil, or is it going to be about like personal experiences that you've had? Or is it going to be a mixture of both?
Yeah, this will certainly be a mixture of concepts. The idea of bringing like Brazilian influences to my music is mostly because I want to show like more of me in my music. I felt like I spent a lot of time trying to experiment, and the process of recording was getting like not so how can I say, not so good, because I was not really getting connected to what I was recording.
Mhm.
And the decision was basically to bring a lot of new texture to my music. And the way that I decided to add those textures was telling a story that has like a same nature of where I'm from and what I do, where is it here, where I live, and especially what is the point of view of my of 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 my reality uh, in this kind of music that I do. So uh, you guys can expect, of course, the ambience, the synths, but with a few extra things there that get the things a little bit more personal and tells a story of, um, as I said, a story of more down to earth and more um, cultural, so to say.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, it's really cool that you're doing that though as well. Like it's good that you're sort of branching out to, like what people would expect of you, and then being like, okay, no, I want to make something more me, like for me, like, and show myself within my music, within my music. That to me, it's a really genuine, sort of interest, like a genuine sort of, I don't know how to phrase it really. The word's sort of escaping me, but it's a much more personal approach, which is something I like.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as well, it's a brave step to like say, okay, I'm done with this now. Like, because there's a lot of bands that they'll draw out a certain concept, not to name a few bands, I'm not gonna call any bands out, but there's a lot of bands that I feel like they touched on a certain concept a lot and it sort of becomes incredibly drawn out. And I think it's great when bands will just do what direction that they feel will work for them and like I'm ready to try something new, as opposed to, just drawing something out way longer than it should be.
Yeah, that's exactly the point, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
So where did your interest develop for like the cosmos and space? Like when did that come?
When did that come? Um, well, I guess that humans were always curious about stars, about space. We often created our navigations using the stars, navigation instruments using the stars, and inside of us we have this, I don't know, this will or this, we want something else, we want something more, we want to understand like the stars, we want to understand where we came from. So that was the first thing that came to my mind when I was creating music. It was almost me questioning myself, where I'm from, where I came from, what is my mission here on Earth, and maybe trying to connect with the stars to get an answer to that question. So I believe that those questions, maybe we will not get the answers from the things we create, like internet, cell phones, this kind of stuff. But I believe the real answer is in the stars, in the nature. So my project is always trying to connect with something, with the nature. And what I was doing was to create this connection using space, the space and space themed lyrics, space themed album covers. And my my goal was basically to create an atmosphere that people really felt like they were wandering the stars and traveling through the stars and feeling the cosmos, feeling this energy that really bounds things together and really creates the energy that we use, like the sun, the stars, and everything. So my music is about connection with greater stuff, greater spirit, greater ambience.
Oh, I can definitely say that you've certainly achieved it. And just to hear like, how passionate you are about it, I think it feeds through to the music and you can totally see why. It's interesting though, like I mean, space is something that's always interested me because it's sort of like, I like how you mentioned, feeling it on a personal level too, because in some ways space can make you feel like, the endless possibilities, endless theories out there. And then on the other side, it can make you feel so small on like a planet that's like, not even a minuscule part of the entire universe.
Yeah,
And I think like the vastness definitely comes out when you listen to the music as well. Like you can feel it in the atmosphere. And I think it fits so well with black metal as well, because obviously black metal has always been like atmosphere, like it might create different sort of soundscapes depending on what you're listening to. Like a lot of
yeah,
them is like the sort of cold, icy feel, but then you get yours, which is like the vastness of space. So yeah, they're super interesting. And me and Nathan have always said like black metal is one of those genres that, it can be a template for so many better soundscapes. Like, there's so much you can slice with it, and it's yeah, amazing.
Oh yeah, I always I always because I we mix a few black metal elements into the band that I'm in at the moment, and I always say with black metal, it's the core form of it is so it's not that it's basic, it's that it's you can do a lot with just that one bass level. You can make black metal sounds in a lot easier to what another genre is, but the what you can then do with that and mold it and bend it in any way, it just makes it so malleable and it can lay onto any other sort of genre you want to put it on or anything like that. And it's out of everything metal related, I honestly think it's the only genre that is like that, where you can literally put it into just about anything and it will fit
yeah,
that section.
Mhm.
yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah, it's a really it's a well, it is a good well great genre for that because it just allows just endless possibilities of what you can eventually do with it. Obviously, like yourself, but there's so many other bands where it's like, oh, well, I thought, what if black metal? What if you did this with black metal? Or what if you did that with black metal? What if you did this? And it's just the amount of concepts where you think that won't go together. Like if you wrote down shoegaze black metal, you'd be like, there's no chance that that'd go together. But then
Then you
there's
have more.
so many good shoegaze black metal bands as well. It's like
Yes.
on paper that says that's a no go, but in practicality it works, and that's what's amazing about it.
Mhm.
Yeah. I could even comment a little bit what is my perspective uh, of what you just said, Nathan. Um, to me, music is about passion. No matter what you are writing, music is about passion. We can really tell when you hear a music that is full of feelings, that is trying to really move people. And black metal is, to me, the genre that does it in a very magical way. So when you hear like those fast blast beats and you really can feel the anxiety, you really can feel the uh, the I can say how brutal that song is. You can feel the energy there, and black metal is not about quality. So we are not trying to record the best quality possible. We are trying to create music, real music, and we are trying to create music with what we have, with the tools that we have. So to me, black metal is when we say true black metal, to me is the black metal that is really uh, trying to create music with passion, no matter what is the strategy. So I totally agree with what you just said, Nathan. And this is what I tried to do with Lumnos from the very beginning. I never tried to be like a true black metal that has those blast beats and has that very defined structure. But I feel like the black metal is more like a tool that you can use to, and a technique that you can use to create music. And
Oh yeah.
today, if you go to Lumnos Instagram, you will see that I tag myself as experimental cosmic black metal. So I will never leave this label. I will never leave the label of to be experimenting, because that's what I will always do.
Oh yeah. What I find so interesting about it as well, like on your point with the like sort of displaying the emotions through music and passion, is that with black metal that it's again like you can show anger, you can show such a wide sadness, happiness in such a variety of ways with black metal that you can't do with any other genre. And that's
Yes.
what I
Mm.
find so interesting about it because you
Mhm.
can like you listen to like a band like Mole and they convey sadness as well as sort of like a bittersweet happiness
Yeah, it's
in
like everyone
there.
gets a different
Mhm.
experience from listening to it.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
can just convey so much with that genre. Um, and that's why whenever like as a band we're writing, I'm always like this bit. What if you did something like that? And I always try to pull from black metal if it's like a bit where I'm like I really want to convey something angry here. And that it just works. It doesn't always intend to be. I want to make this a black metal bit, but you come out and go that sounds like a black metal bit because it's again it's just such a malleable thing, and you can just throw it about in just about anywhere.
Yes.
So
One thing I
obviously, like
oh,
you use a lot of instruments in Lumnos. There's a lot of different things going on. I've got a two-end question for you. So one, when did you start being a musician, and how did you learn to play all these different things? And two, what got you into the heavier side of music? When did that come?
Yeah. I will ask the second question first. What made me to be like a black metal listener was basically a natural way. To be honest, I always like to listen like cutting edge and experimenting material. So I'm and even today I'm the same person. I like to hear new material all the time. Uh, and the first band that introduced me to black metal was Demon Borg, and that was because I got as a gift from a friend of mine a box with a lot of CDs, and Demon Borg was one of them. I was like 12 years old.
Wow, that's a
Um,
young age to get into Dimu.
yeah, I was very, very young. And I remember that the first time that I played the CD, it was, I don't remember if it was like in Sword Diaboli or Defcode Armageddon. I believe that's the name. But I remember that the first time that I really paid attention to that, I said, this is something else. I never heard anything close to black metal before. I was only listening to System of a Down and Sepultura, but I was not even close to get to black metal. But I remember that atmosphere, uh, that energy was something that I was always looking for, even at 12 years old. And I was basically listening to music, and I got to discover some new bands. One of my favorite of all times, which is Alcest as well. And when I heard Alcest, I believe that was when I really decided to create something by myself, because Alcest had like these acoustic guitars and clean vocals and also some blast beats. And at the time I just had a acoustic guitar, and I went on the internet, search around how to record acoustic guitar, and I created my first project, which is called Putréfola. Uh, I don't recommend to listen, but you can you can still find that on YouTube. And what I did was basically to record acoustic guitar only, using my cell phone as a microphone and
True black metal
using,
style.
yeah, true black metal. And I use my keyboard, my computer keyboard, to create the synthesizer and also the drums. And that was around 14 years old, maybe 15 years old. I don't remember exactly. I believe it was 15 years old. Um, and from that situation, that project, I got learning a little bit more. I created new projects, and finally, when I turned 16, I decided to create Lumnos and started recording. And on my birthday, my birthday of 16 years, I got a gift from my father, an electric guitar. And that was when I really recorded my first like true black metal related music. And that's it. I mean, long story short, that's what I got into black metal. That's what I got started recording as well. And it's been like 8 years recording music so far.
It's impressive. It's a very young age to start doing all that as well, and like just diving into so many different instruments. Because you'll get people who are like, "Oh no, I just want to do guitar, or I just want to do drums," and you're like, I just want to do everything." you know,
Yeah,
yeah, super
yeah.
cool.
I mean, I always wanted to record something by myself, so that's what really moved me to get get it going. But I was very young, and the first songs, of course, they are not that good. But to me, the most important thing to do is to start.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
absolutely.
I always like hearing how people got into being, like making music. Because it always brings me back to like when I first wanted to as well, because I remember I'd thought about it for years, and like I just kept putting it off. I always had people telling me, "Oh, maybe not, mate. Maybe not. Just try. Maybe you might not be good at it. It might be, And I was there. It's always like I was like, yeah, yeah, maybe you're right. So I'd like secretly like practice like doing vocals and learning how to scream and stuff. And like, and then I think I saw Riley Gale perform with Trivium like quite a few years ago, and I remember just sat there thinking, this guy doesn't necessarily have like the best technique or anything like that, but what he does have is you can tell he has the passion for it, and you could tell that he has the energy for it, and like that's all you really need. Like you could tell by just seeing him, this guy fucking loved music. This guy loved doing what he did, and it's from seeing that on stage, I just went, you know what, I'm fucking giving it a go. Because like I just as soon as I saw him, as soon as I saw the energy and passion that he brought to it, I was there like, eh, you know what? That's all you need. I've got that, so I'm gonna try it. And then since then, I've just been doing bands and stuff. So yeah, I always love hearing when white people stories of how they got into it as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
So obviously we talked about your music. I want to ask about you, then your hobbies and interests. What do you get up to when you're not creating spacey soundscapes? What do you do for fun?
Um, that's a good question, Bradley. I am a software developer, so when I'm not working as a software developer, I like to basically to how can I say, to learn about new cultures and learn about uh, people that love what they do.
Mm.
No matter what they do, I love to hear people that are passionate about what they do. So I spent a lot of time like watching videos of people that uh, like to create beautiful gardens, so to say. And here they talk about how they manage the garden and this kind of stuff. So I'm always like searching around different activities, different cultures, different countries, and this is something that I do a lot. I like to search around that, and I even plan to. As I said, I'm a software developer, so I can work from home. And one of the goals of my life is to travel to other countries and learn with the people from that country. And I don't know, just be around the world, talking with people. I'm not a guy that really has like a goal to have a huge house or to be rich or to be famous. That's not something that I am in. But what I really like to do and what I'm really planning to move my round is really to go out and meet people. That's why I learned to speak English. I never took any classes. I learned like by myself. My English is not perfect, but I can communicate. Um, that's why I learned Spanish as well. I also, I didn't mention, but I always like to learn things by myself. So I learned to play the guitar by myself. I learned to mix and master by myself. So I'm always trying to learn new things by myself and create something with what I learned. So if as a software developer, it started with I was like 16 years old as well, and just Googled how to create a website and kind of learn with that. And to me, the most good part is when you create something with the technique that you just learned. So I'm this guy. I'm always trying to learn new things, and I also like to go to the gym, play tennis, play football sometimes, and
Nice.
that's it.
I was gonna say,
Uh,
like, I think the fact that you're a software developer, like, makes a lot of sense. Like, you're a natural problem solver. You like to look into things and, you know, be quite open. So yeah, it's kind of cool. And I think like I like your sort of humble outset on life. Not about making money or being rich and
Yeah,
you know being famous. You just like to enjoy
yeah,
things and experience life. So I do respect that a lot, to be fair. And you
yeah.
probably have a much happier life from doing it.
Thank you very much for your comment, Bradley. I really believe in that, and I never put the pressure on me to be like the best with what I do. I'm not. This is not a competition. So, for example, with music, I'm not trying to be like the best guitar player in the world, but I want to play the guitar in a way that I can create beautiful things with that tool, and that is what really motivates me to keep doing things, keep creating things, and that's it.
Oh yeah, it's cool with the software development too, because the overlap between like people who like really love metal and like also work in like the tech industry is crazy. Like the amount of people we spoke to, where it's like, oh, I work in IT support. I'm like, oh, same here. Oh, like, oh, I do software development. It's like, it's such a crazy overlap from doing this. I've noticed like so many people that are in like the tech industry are also into metal. It's just like it's a weird thing that I've sort of noticed whilst doing it. One thing I wanted to ask you is with in regards to like the actual composing of the music, like obviously you have like these long 10-minute songs and there's no one bit that it's like it should like it all flows into one really good piece. There's nothing that's when you listen to it you go, I don't know if that fits there or anything like it. It's all just perfectly put in there. Do you find with the composing music, do you find it was something that came natural to you, or is it something that you've always sort of made sure it's like I need to focus on this and keep getting better at it? Or is it just something that when as soon as you started doing music, it's like you kind of have a feel where you want things to be put and go and everything like that before you even start doing it?
And that's a very good question, Nathan, because this is connected with what I just said. When I learn something, and it's in this case is music production, music recording. I don't know almost anything about music theory. I don't know about the notes. I don't know about time signatures. I don't know about mixing, but I know what sounds good
Mm,
because I listen to a lot of music. And I believe that you don't need to to be an expert to understand if what you are creating makes sense because you can feel your music. So my process of creating music is listening to what I'm creating, and if that really makes me feel better, or if that really makes makes me feel like comfortable with what I'm telling, that's what matters. And my process of recording is basically trying always to create melodies that touch people, no matter the technique, no matter the the technical stuff that you might try. And of course, this process makes you learn a lot of things, but I really believe that you should stick to what is good to hear.
mm. Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Me too.
Because I think too many people when especially when they're writing music they'll get drawn out into is it long enough? Does this fit? Does that fit? You can I think for most part as a musician, but even just as a listener, you can go off that from just knowing I know what I like personally. I think too many people worry about like, oh well what are other people gonna think? In reality is if you like your own music other people are gonna like it because you listen to the same music they do. That's the attitude I've always seen it as. Just don't think too much about oh does this make it's just like make something that you genuinely want to hear and then just put it out because there'll be people that are just like you going, oh this is exactly what I like.
Yeah, yeah. And regarding the size of the songs, the reason that most of them are long is because I want to put you in a place and to and good stories cannot be told in like 10 seconds, 1 minute.
Mm,
Good stories need like details, need textures, need rhythm. You need to know when is the time to calm down, when is the time to grow. So that's why my music is in this project specific, it's more like it's a long song because it's a story that is being told and it's an ambience that is being created. And you need to really, it's like a mantra. You need to be always inviting the person that is
mm.
listening to be in that place that you try to create. So that is why.
That's super interesting, man. So I've got like one last question for you, and it's a Lumnos exclusive. So if in a hypothetical scenario, if a spaceship was to come down and say, "Do you want to explore the cosmos, but you can never return to Earth?" Would you go and travel the cosmos, or would you stay on Earth and experience what the rest of Earth has to offer?
Without a doubt, I would travel to through the universe.
Like,
It's
see you
not
guys.
that.
Sorry, no
Yeah,
questions asked.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd do the same. I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking going.
Yeah, see
Yeah.
you.
It's like this is almost like what I tried to write about when I wrote the endlessness theory. and it's a song about like endlessness, travel through the horizons of the universe. So without a doubt, yes, I would go there.
Excellent choice. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on. It's been great talking to you. Like I appreciate your music even more now, knowing like how much passion and drive's just gone into it. I just really hope that you make a vinyl because I will absolutely buy it. I think I've asked you like twice in like the last 2 years to make a vinyl, so I'm hoping someday. And I don't know if you do like gigs or anything? Because it'd be awesome to see you like in a live show too.
Well, I hope so. Maybe when I travel to a new country, when I can make contact with people. Mostly of the time, I work with people that are not from Brazil. So maybe this is something that I really want to do, and I will do in some time in my life, even if I'm playing for like 10 or less people. But I want to uh, create a register of my history and being able to play this to people, and yeah, this is something that I would like to do.
Awesome. Well, you can definitely count on us being there. But yeah, it's been awesome, man. Truly.
Well, thank you guys to for this opportunity. That's it.
No worries. It's been great having you on. It's been great meeting you.
Yeah. And if you're listening now, listen to the Endless Theory. It's one of the most interesting black metal albums I've listened to. So yeah, check it out. But yeah, thank you so much, man.
Thank you guys.
Take
Bye
care.
bye.
Thank you.